And welcome back. It's time to carry on the day. We are at the halfway point. Now it's time for some more Overwatch League action. I'm Achilleos here with Avril. I heard for whatever reason we're wearing pink, something to do about Wednesday. It might not be Wednesday here on our side of the world, Avril, but I decided to do it all the same. But here we go. Fusion going up against Dallas Fuel. We will unfortunately continue to send some teams home. Question is, which one of these two is it going to be?
You know, the best part, we didn't coordinate this again. I didn't ask you, you didn't ask me.
True.
We just hive-minded, we went through the internet. And by through the internet, I mean, like, we didn't even contact each other. We just showed up, and this is how we look. We just both were thinking, you know what? This is the wavelength we're on. You said Wednesday. In my mind, is it 5-map Friday already? I had to check the date because we just had 2 back-to-back map 5s.
Yeah. Yeah, already been quite the day, and like I said, only at the halfway point. So maybe we could just go all the way. Why not 20 maps? Screw it, let's just do it. I don't know, just full send it. We'll see if it happens. But yeah, Fusion versus Dallas Fuel. This is going to be an interesting one. Dallas Fuel coming in, falling down a little bit later, obviously, so they're going to have their map choice. We'll see where they decide to take us. But Fusion, having a little bit of a shaky start. Need to bounce back.
Yeah, and I think Dallas as well, but at the same time, when you look at these teams going up against Shanghai, it's always a bit rough to start things out with Fusion as well.
Yeah.
You know, this is a team that we feel has super high highs in terms of their peaks, but at the same time as well, you know, they've had some lows throughout the season, hoping for some highs to continue through the lower bracket here. They did lose the Hangzhou Spark, but considering how good the Hangzhou Spark have been so far in the upper bracket, they also 3-0 the Seoul Dynasty. We'll be seeing the Seoul Dynasty right after this match as well. It maybe isn't so bad because, well, Hangzhou just look like they're on a different level, and Fusion and Seoul Dynasty happen to be in their warpath.
Yeah, I mean, huge step up from the Hangzhou Spark, who I had a lot of questions surrounding them coming into this tournament. Obviously, you know, have very rarely made it to the tournaments, and then when they do, haven't found that much success. But right now, it looks like they're very much showing up. Dynasty, like you said, we'll be seeing them after this series. We'll see if they can bounce back as well. But for now, we'll focus in as here as the starting 5 for the Dallas Fuel.
And this is the similar story, right? Because Dallas Fuel also fell to the Shanghai Dragons, who, by the way, as pointed out by Jaws and Necro a little bit earlier on, 6-0 as far as maps across their 2 matches so far. They took down the Toronto Defiant, who now have been eliminated by the Houston Outlaws. Dallas Fuel also in the pathway of Shanghai through their rampage in the upper bracket is also Fuel, looking for a bit of a bounce back. And unfortunately, these 2 teams, you know, big fan bases, a lot of hope to try and make it far in the tournament. Some unluckiness as far as, you know, COVID issues for the Fusion as well. It's not been amazing behind the scenes for the Fusion, so really they're just hoping for the best to see how far they can make it through. But to lose one of these 2 teams here this early, it doesn't feel good.
No, it definitely doesn't. I mean, these are 2 teams that you would expect to have, you know, a very deep run from. But unfortunately, here in the first day of the eliminations, one of them is on the chopping block. Well, rather, they're both on the chopping block, but only one of them is going to get chopped. Well,
you say deep run, but consider this. Both of these teams were runner-ups in the kickoff clash. They already had those deep runs, so that's why it feels kind of weird, right? You get second place Philly Fusion from their loss to Seoul Dynasty in the kickoff clash. Dallas Fuel as well, 0-4 versus Gladiators, and their western side of the kickoff clash is also both teams that came second. One of them has to go now. Map number 1 coming up in this first of 3 here. I've chosen by Dallas Fuel, Oasis. Now, we saw this yesterday versus the Shanghai Dragons. Admittedly, this was their best map. I've been a bit of a critic of the Lucian Warriors so far, but when you consider the 3 maps being played by Dallas Fuel, that was their best look. So my question will be, are they going to run that back again? Is that going to be very effective versus Fusion today?
I mean, even just earlier in our previous series, we did see a little bit of that Lucian
they locked it in.
Moira coming out. Didn't go so hot, though, earlier on, but these guys seem to have it mastered, so if the Fuel are going to be piloting it, give them a little bit more leeway.
Mayhem actually dropped it earlier. They didn't run it versus who did they just play? The London Spitfire, and they actually looked pretty reasonable off the back of that one, so we'll see how this one goes. Coach Rush very much believing in the capability for this Lucian Warrior to pop off. Edison back on the Reaper as well, Spark on the Genji. This is basically the blueprint for how they looked competitive versus the Shanghai Dragons on this map yesterday, but again, they did not win. So, Philly, what are we going to do about this? Dallas Fuel, early rotation straight away towards the jump pad side. Philly Fusion will rotate opposite towards, I think, Coastal. No, they're still playing around main for now.
This could prove to be a little bit painful for the side of the Dallas Fuel if Zest is able to really nail his shots, get those sticky bombs across onto those squishier targets, because you don't really have too many people who can reliably try to take him out of the skies. Everybody fairly short range. Sure, Sparkle can throw some shurikens, try to dash up, get on top of him, but it can prove to be rather difficult. We'll have to see how they decide to pilot this one. As for now, opening skirmish comes through as the point has opened up. Fuel dangerously close to getting this initial lockdown if they could just clear it out, but Fusion are here to stay for now. MN3 falling low, pops the recall, goes back in, gets behind Fielder, puts a hell of a lot of damage down onto that Moira, but so far, no kills to be found. They finally clear out the point, and that's going to be the lockdown first here for the side of the Dallas Fuel, now ticking up.
Well, look at this. You have the Fusion support line on the high ground so far. Sparkle will claim first blood onto Zest. Now finally getting on top of it, Aim God and Fix. There should be a cleanup from the Dallas Fuel now, and it is.
Yep, great dash through. They find Aim God, Fix the taken out. There's the support's gone. Bellisria just going to grabbing the health tag to make sure that he stays alive. Exits back over towards the spawn rooms. For now, Dallas Fuel is going to be sitting pretty, already moving up above 25%.
Fusion unable to keep Zest alive there, and then obviously you see Sparkle challenging the supports on the high ground. That's the key contested area. This is why Dallas Fuel started their rotation initially on the rollout towards that jump pad side. And for the Philly Fusion, if you want to put Aim God back up there, they'll have to fight for it once more. Edison looking for some angles as well. First ultimate's coming through. That's going to be a call from Fielder.
Yep, built it up very quickly. Pops that one's looking for the kill, and it's going to be Zest taken down. Sparkle once more, getting on top of that Echo. Does end up falling. Quite a bit of damage out onto the enemy Genji as the pile driver comes down. The minefield dropped in as well. So far, everybody just backing away, not looking to play forward into it. It's MN3 looking for an opportunity to invest this pulse bomb. Knock up there. Geo falling a little bit lower now. Is going to be dropping the beat though. Shields coming through. Transcend's going to be out from Aim God. Pops to try to keep everybody alive.
Sparkle wave to blade.
The blade. He could pull it on the back end. He does. He pulls it out. He manages to find Aim God. A sliver of HP for Sparkle, but somehow he manages to stay alive. Does it eventually get taken down? The DPS2 on the side of the Fuel will fall, but it's without supports right now for the side of the Fusion, which means that Zest goes down as well. The Fuel went out the fight. They maintain control at least for a little bit longer here as the flip is narrowly coming through, but the point has now been cleared, and this is last fight territory.
And preventing Fixer from popping the rally as well. That would have been the next ultimate on rotation. Sparkle with that blade just trying to wait out the timing of the Transcendence from Aim God. Philadelphia Fusion very much lacking in kills so far. They've only got 2 frags. That last fight was their two first bloods coming on through. Fixer now gets that rally up.
He does. The Duke at the ready. Geo avoiding getting taken down. There's going to be the duplicate out onto Edison.
Big move.
He goes for the Wraith form. He tries to get in on top of Fielder. That's Blossom going to be invested. They will manage to knock Zest back out, so he takes right back up to the skies. Aim God eliminated as the next Coalescence comes through from Fielder, and he's just keeping everybody alive. Fusion not finding anything at all. They will get cleared off at the point. It's 100% to 0 to kick things off here for the Fuel.
And it's Bellisria as well. Part of the reason why they wouldn't have been able to touch is, well, Bellisria going for the big slam, goes a little bit too high there, drops the mines. Could have been a turnaround, probably unlikely. 3 versus 5. Dallas feel very much ahead. And let me touch up on the point I was trying to make a little bit earlier as well in terms of the sort of frag output, the damage output leading to kills from the Philly Fusion. It took until the second to last fight there for them to even get their first kill on board, and there was only a total of 2 final blows the entire way through. Unfortunate situation for Fixer there, ends up did it get booped in, or was that a shield basher? In either case, just dies to mine. So we have one final blow for MN3, 1 final blow for Zest, and that's it. No further kills from Philly Fusion that entire round.
I'll need to step it up a bit more, as now we're going to be having Sparkle matching in the skies with the Echo. Shifting away from the Genji. Already good amount of damage coming out off the rip there. MN3 falling low. Will be safe though, as Edison trying to slink around the back and get on top of these supports, and so far he is being quite stealthy. Finally does go ahead and open up with a shotgun blast, so now they know exactly where he's at. He is looking for Bellisria, taking him dangerously low. Health pack does get snatched up, takes the Wraith walk, moves back over to the point. Dallas Fuel looking for that initial lockdown once more. Nearly have it, just have to try to clear them out. Aim God getting jumped on just off screen. Does manage to stay alive for a little bit longer here, and it's going to be a trade-up. Fusion finally able to find some kills right off the rip. They pick up 2. The point's still not going to be locked down from either side. Fusion seem like they may be able to make this happen for themselves.
Bellisria will get out with his life, so Bellisria so far has avoided death multiple times. By the way, the only member of Fusion that actually hasn't died so far over the course of this entire Oasis. First ultimate's coming online now with MN3 finding this pulse bomb. Edison falling, though Fusion, can they get further percentage on the scat?
massive pile driver to find the kill there on Edison, knocking out multiple members on the side of the Dallas Fuel, and the cleanup comes through quickly thereafter with Sparkle and Fearless going down. Looks like the support duo do manage to make their escape. Fairly elusive when you have the Lucio and the Moira. They stay alive. Dallas Fuel going to reset and look to retake this point as Sparkle. He shifts off. He's going for the Tracer.
And that's going to... Oh, it's very hard to heal the Echo, I think, with the Lucio Moira composition. So Sparkle being a little bit more self-sufficient on the Tracer for the following fights will do him some good. More ultimates coming online for Fusion, though. This is where Dallas Fuel a little bit further behind. They want to go aggressive here, but they need that Coalescence. It's just about up.
MN3 down to 17 HP, pops the recall, stays alive. Vixer this time the shield bash, it doesn't send him to his death. Instead he finds Sparkle, gets the elimination. The pulse bomb stick goes through. Edison going to be taken down, and this is a wash for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Fusion winning the fight quite handedly, as the cleanup will be there. Fearless just using the rest of the Primal Rage to make his exit, and he's going to be swapping over the ball as well. So further adjustments being felt, to be necessary for the side of the Fuel, because right now they're in danger of also getting 100-0.
It's a cheap fight. It was a rally plus a pulse bomb. Sparkles killed immediately in their side of that fight. Dallas Fuel wanted to get aggressive with the Coalescence, but like I said, the timing meant that they had to wait slightly longer to get it done. A couple fresh heroes, like you said, the Fearless ball now coming on through. Low HP on Aim God, but he'll just trans.
Pops the trans, big crash there from Fearless. As the Lucio dupe is going to be...
got a kill with it too.
Once they get that sound barrier, yeah, he does. Manages to take down Shio. Gets in on top of Sparkle, finishes him with a melee hit, and okay, yeah, looking pretty good here as he charges forward. So not going to be fighting a sound barrier, but still fighting an immense amount of impact, and they are fighting so far away from the point, which is right now not being contested at all. There you go, the roll through does come in. Fearless able to force out the overtime, but Fusion have realized this. They send multiple members over to deal with him and try to keep him zoned back. Crash back through, Sparkle goes in, gets the touch, the beat gets dropped from Shio, manages to shield up on the 4 people. Fielder going to be the only one without. Edison immediately getting tagged down to half HP, does manage to stay alive for a little bit longer, it would seem, as they need to win out this fight, but Edison eventually does get dropped. Now Fielder going to be taken out of the equation as well. Shio continuing to get tagged lower and lower, and the healing throughput from the Lucio is just nowhere near good enough to try to keep them alive in this fight. Fearless cannot make his way back in, and there it is, 100-0 in reply from the Fusion, taking us to a final round of Oasis.
It's a big response as well. We talk about the fact that they nearly had no final blows in the first round, a total of 2, right? One for MN3, one for Zest, so shared between those 2 players. They go from 2 final blows to 17, so 15 found on that last round on Garden, so a major improvement there. Ballasria is still deathless, by the way, so very hard to punish that ball, and you kind of see that at the beginning of Gardens with Dallas Fuel wanting to chase him down, where in Edison's POV, he's specifically trying to punish Ballasria. But he plays for the health packs. He's sitting healed from a distance by Aim God. He's able to slide on through. And no one able to really do too much about him. Dallas Fuel now are not going to start on the Fearless Winston again. They leave the ball instead. Sparkle on towards the Genji. So not going to be on that Echo to start things out with.
Right back into the skies. Zest not really getting too much with the initial sticky bomb volley. Continuing to poke and prod as Gio trying to keep Ballasria at arm's length. Pile driver does come down. It's a good amount of damage, good amount of charge. And MN3 manages to find Sparkle. Good kill coming through as right now the attention of the supports on the side of the Dallas Fuel is being pulled every which way. As the point now unlocks, Sparkle still looking to rejoin, so it seems like the Fusion just going to get this lockdown initially relatively for free.
Yeah, they'll get the cap almost immediately here. Philadelphia Fusion as well, climbing an ultimate. Sparkle coming back on towards the Tracer. Dallas Fuel need to be the initiators here, and they finally get Ballasria down. That's his first dead.
Yep, an initial pick. Looking good. Edison trying to go for the deep TP, but immediately is met with some damage and has to pull out of there. Keeps himself safe now, just looking for a target, but Shio gets on top of Aim God, finds that kill. Zest going down as well, so Dallas Fuel looking for a very fast flip this time around. Just going to be looking to delay as long as they possibly can, but the flip will come through. Only 25% established right now for Philly.
And I think this is the desired team composition for Fearless and Sparkle as well, as far as the Dallas Fuel's overall Lucio Moira comp is concerned. The first blood for Sparkle, though that's really unfortunate. It's going to be another 5v4 coming on in, and Ultimate still roughly favoring the Fusion, except for that Coalescence that might have to be popped now.
Does get popped. MN3 sending out the pulse bomb, not going to be finding a kill, but Ballasria does get in top of Fielder, finds that kill, but it's going to be traded out as Aim God falls as well, so Fixa now going to be the lone source of healing for his squad. Sound barrier dropped by Chio, so they want to be able to maintain control of this point, and with the kill on a Fixa, that means that there is no supports in the fight here for the side of the Fusion until Aim God can try to rejoin, and even then you just have that single target healing from the Orbs of Harmony. That being said, Fusion still managed to come up with multiple kills as they look for Feelers to the beam at the very last edge of it. got just enough pixels there on that range to be able to take him down. Gets the elimination. The flip is there. Fuel at 47%, but Fusion back in control.
Fantastic endurance by the Philadelphia Fusion. They lost both supports. Like you said, they were waiting for AimGod to return. Zest plays for the duplicate, actually gets pretty reasonable value. He just prolongs his life, comes out of duplicate form, gets a double kill. So pretty damn good stuff there for the Fusion. And now they get to win that one just off the back of one ultimate, catching up to the 47% that Dallas Fuel have. Waiting for Dallas Fuel to engage again off the back of their 3 ults, but with Edison having to shift out, something good.
Going to be the minefield to start from Fearless. Bellisria now going to be using his as well, looking to cut off their access into the point itself. Sparkle still hovering down low, holds on
Have to look for the Spasm
as well. Going to be looking for a target. Green HP out of the members of the Fusion. Rally now expiring. They still hold on to the Transcendence. Fuel, ooh, they would love to have some support ultimates right now, but they're still so very far away.
Eyes on Edison. Super important that he gets us off. This might be the opportunity. Sees a couple supports. Tries to bait up the Transcendence from AimGod, but AimGod's not going to pop it.
He does not. Holds on to it. It's Zest overstepping just...
No, AimGod's just gone in.
Track him down. Gets an elimination, but look at the fight coming through. They just rush him down. Fixie gets right on top of Edison, makes sure that he cannot use that Death Blossom whatsoever. Trance now on the back end to escort everybody else forward. Fusion want to finish this right here, right now. They don't want the Dallas Fuel to try to get another opportunity to flip this back into their favor. Fixa, however, going to get dropped. The Coalescence built up. Fielder trying to stay alive, trying to keep his teammates topped up, and so far it's looking rather good for them as AimGod is going to be taken out of the equation as well. No supports now for the side of the Philly Fusion. The sound barrier on the way as well for Chio. Can win this fight and have that in their back pocket. It's going to be looking rather good for them, and there's the flip.
And Edison doesn't have to use the Death Blossom there either. Some pretty good pickups on AimGod and Fixa. Fusion trying to get aggressive there. They will buy themselves a couple of frags, some space to work through. They definitely get that 99%, which is all important. But Zest not going to have any heroics this time with the very late dupe. We have another situation where they don't have supports. Zest goes for the duplicate, finds a Moira, but can't get too much done on that Moira. Dupe barely has a second of Coalescence. So opportunity now for Dallas Fuel to take this one to 99. They have a lot of ultimates and they're going to use one now.
He's going for the TP. He's got the Death Blossom and he lets it loose. Managing to find one. The pile driver comes in from Bellisria. Does manage to shut it down, making sure that they don't bleed out any of the members. But we're going into last fight territory here as Zest gets eliminated on the back end of the fight. So 2 quick kills. Now at 85%, Dallas Fuel looking to finish this out.
And Sparkle can finish that as well, because if he picks up another support kill or anything here, could be lights out for the Fusion. Zest moving towards the Reaper as well. Looking for all that stability, kind of losing a bit of faith on that Echo. Not sure if that's going to be the right call, but for Fusion, it's the call that they're going to make. Here comes Sparkle now.
Very last second. Pulse Bomb not going to connect, and Zest is there. He gets the headshot. Sparkle goes down, and the Pulse Bomb found absolutely no value. Minefield now dropped here. Looking to escort the rest of the members of Fusion forward onto the point. The rally going to be rolling from Fixa. Fielder nearly there to have another Coalescence, but he needs it stat. We'll see if he can get it. Sparkle's going to be swapping him.
Oh, it's gone.
To be there, and Fielder, he gets taken down. It's interrupted. The whip shot from Fixa is absolutely massive, and now Fearless will fall. It looks like the rug has been pulled out from beneath the Dallas Fuel. The OT bleeds away. No one else can touch. And the Fusion, after starting off this map, that first round of City Center, going 0 to 100, they turn it around. They get the win. Oasis is theirs.
And a very closely fought University towards the end there as well. Fix it with the shutdown on Fielder's Coalescence. But really for me, Seth, it starts from the fact that Sparkle going for the Pulse Bomb as he should. Barely misses. Fixa dashes away, use that shield bash. But the fact that Sparkle ends up dying, he was even very surprised by that. You could see his cam, I mean, wasn't expecting to die there. Ends up being another 4v5 situation. A lot of first deaths in multiple fights for Sparkle, costing Dallas Fuel a number of opportunities there. But Dallas Fuel really did push Philadelphia Fusion towards the end there. They were behind. Fusion had the 99 first. Dallas Fuel still got there, but it slips through their fingers, unfortunately.
It also just felt like a lot of indecision, constantly having to swap up when things didn't really go well. You know, you get that first death going through, immediately swap off the Genji over to something like the Tracer and whatnot. So we're seeing these adjustments from the side of the Fuel, but it seems like once they have to make those, they're not able to really find their footing and, you know, carry that comp forward for a win. Fusion kick things off 1-0. We'll see if the Dallas Fuel can answer back, because once more they will have a map pick as we get ready to go into hybrid. We'll see where they take us when we return from the break. And welcome back, guys. Do you like fan art? I sure as hell do. Make sure you guys go ahead and submit your fan art celebrating the team or region, whatever it may be, that you want to see win the entirety of the Midseason Madness Tournament and the Overwatch League fan art gallery. Get that stuff through, because we need some better art. We can't rely on Mr. X to continue to push Carl or whatever he's called. We need some actual artists to show us some good stuff, you know? Maybe that's just me, but that's what I want to see. I don't know. Either way, try to carry on with this series, see what happens, as the Fusion have already kicked things off 1-0.
Seen some pretty good art recently as well. You know, there was that play of the game that Merritt had, the 3K immortalized in a comic style from, I believe the artist's name is Milkfish. Brilliant stuff. Paragranins as well. We actually requested a fan out of us as a duo. That actually did come. And we got it. The Paragranins. We actually did. That was pretty fun. So let's talk about the next map coming up, though. Kings Row being picked by the Dallas Fuel here. And substitutions being Fury coming in for Ballesteria, Rio coming in for Edison. So the read here for both the teams is that Feel are going to be moving away from the Lucio Moira plus Reaper combination. They're going to be moving towards more of a, I think the double flex support here, the Ana Zen with Fielder Ana plus Chio Zen, Sparkle Genji, Fearless Winston, Maguru most likely on the Sojourn as well. Whereas the Fusion are probably going to be playing more of that Sigma style, maybe a bit of Zari in there as well, but usually when you bring Fury in, he is there to play the Sigma.
I'll have to just wait and see what they decide to piece together, if they want to change it up and subvert our expectations, or if it's just going to be, you know, straight shooting from both squads. We'll find out as we do get ready to go into King's Row, and also see if the Fusion can take this to a 2-0 lead, bring it to match point. Dallas Fuel, obviously, this is their map pick. They are banking on this, you know, to get themselves on the board, tie it up 1-1, and then try to retake the series from there.
Contextually as well, the last match that Fuel played, which is versus the Dragons, when it was their turn to map pick for the hybrid, they actually took us to Midtown. We've joked plenty of times about the Midtown incident for the Philadelphia Fusion, but they've actually been a lot better at Midtown now, so it does feel for whatever reason they've opted to shy away from that particular map. And now over to King's Row instead. We actually haven't really seen much of King's Row, if even at all, I think, so far in the tournament. One thing I do want to comment on is this is where I would like to see the Gurio substitution really pay off, because unfortunately versus the Shanghai Dragons, maybe no real fault to Gurio, because Lip is just a monster. Let's be straight. Lip, MVP runner from last year. In my mind, the #1 hit scan player last year as well. Rookie's a new rookie coming on M. It's a pretty hard matchup. This time, however, he's up against rookies on the other side. MN3 has been dominant on the hit scan so far in the regular season. So, more work cut out, but Gurio needs to step up from yesterday for sure still.
I like even just the little micro adjustment. He knows that people are going to be anticipating that initial Widow shot to come through, so actually waits a little bit longer before he peeks the corner. Still doesn't find anybody, and we'll just be picking up the Sojourn. Gurio starting to poke out through Hotel. A rail across, but obviously not going to be finding any kills. No headshot there. And now posturing forward onto the point, starting to tick up.
Probably just working their way forward slowly. Just Fury, you know, moving that shield up, trying to get some feet on towards the point itself. Zest as well.
Bombs are huge.
I mean, really good high ground damage just to put Dallas Field, keep them honest.
Yep, Fury is going to find Fearless. Fielder and Chio had both been taken down so very low. I think they had to break line of sight, which meant that they could not try to bail out their main tank here. He does go down. He's going to try to swap over onto the Wrecking Ball to rejoin the fight. Maybe they do want to fight this one out. He's nearly back, but someone's going to have to touch here pretty damn soon.
No,
and they're not going to do it. The call comes through. It's going to be 5.5 minutes in the time bank.
He can't make it in time, and this is just what we're seeing as well in changes similar to Oasis, but at least on Oasis, I think ball has a bit more value, typically speaking, on a map like King's Row. Especially after A, it just gets more difficult to play the ball. You know, as you're going to B, as you're going to C, ball has less and less value in my mind. Winston would probably be most ideal here. The other reason is you want to have a good target for Fielder to be able to nano. Losing Chio here is exceptionally unfortunate. So Dallas Field, they have to give up space.
Yep, not having that Zenyatta, not being able to break down the front lines. Having the Discord orbs and whatnot means that they have to concede a hell of a lot of space, so no initial chokehold coming through from the side of the Dallas Fuel. MN3 will get taken down, but it's quickly traded, so yeah, another Sojourn going to be falling on the opposite side. Field trying to cut across from the flank angle, but now he is rotating over towards the Fusion spawn. He's out in no man's land. He's falling lower and lower. The sticky bombs will basically finish him off.
They're just self-staggering. There's no reason for Fearless and Fielder to try and make that play. They're already down multiple members. There are more players trying to come on through. I could understand if Fearless wants to try and get a little bit tricky. There's no Ana on the other side. He might eat a rock, but Fearless should be otherwise fine. Why is Fielder there, though? Fearless makes sense. Fielder should not be there at all.
Yeah. Bit of a head-scratcher for sure. All I know is that the Fusion are making impeccable time right now on this push. The window is out as well to try to send them back. Sparkle going to be diving in, assisted by the Nano. Blade just a couple % shy. Fearless, however, still going to be taken down. MN3, even without the overclock, just manages to chunk him out with the help of the Discord orbs. They get that elimination. Fleck goes through the Blade now at the ready. Does he decide to pull it? We'll have to just wait and see. Aimgot, however, now going to be taken out.
Missed the chance.
And it's going to be used by Chio, but kills still continue to be found here for the side of the Fusion. 1 for 2. Now Chio falling. Fielder out of the fight in the Transcendence. It doesn't buy them any space. It takes a couple seconds off the time bank, but they still will manage to break through. It's 5 minutes for the final stretch with 4 ults in their pocket.
And that's the thing, right? Because you could see the pressure on the Chio. Do you burn the Transcendence now? Do you save it? He would love to save the Transcendence to counter out the Flux from Fury, but they're down members there. Sparkle waiting for an opportunity to blade. Aim God actually gets slept. That would have been the perfect time to play because you could kill Aim God there. You could prevent the trance. He dies anyway, but Sparkle dies almost immediately after. So Dallas Fuel just couldn't find the opening to actually get that contest surely underway. I mean, they touch, sure, but how do you actually win that until you can get the blade out?
A lot of damage there as Fielder almost gets taken down. Guriel, his dying breath with one final overclock shot will find Aim God in the head before Zest finds the elimination. The dupe from Zest pulls the blade, does get broken out and taken down. They finally will find their footing and stop this cart from pushing forward. Fearless cleaning up 3 in the back end of the fight. The Dallas Fuel at long last in control.
So 3 for 2 ultimate trade there. Dallas burnt 3, Fusion burnt 2. And Zest as well nearly got that blade up. He actually duplicated Sparkle's Genji, and we know how damn good Zest can be on that Genji. He's like, you know what? Got a taste for that Genji. Let me lock it in for real now as we move into C. Smart choice. Would actually prefer that to the Echo. Had he gotten that Genji blade up, that could have been a very hot contest for the Philadelphia Fusion. Losing Aim God, though, to me was a big turning point. They couldn't block out Sparkle's Genji blade, so no trance there, unfortunately, for Philly Fusion. Still opportunity, though. MN3 Aim God having those ultimates up, especially looking at MN3 here to make some moves.
Slow and steady now. Fusion just poking and prodding after the swaps have come through. Guriel thinking about swinging around the corner, looking for a head to click on. Met by that barrier, the dynamite not going off, I don't believe. MN3 falling lower, actually slides out of the immortality field, which does get cleaned up, but they do send some heals over his way. Stays safe for now, just giving his own them back the window, allowing them to start rounding the final corner. Fearless looking for the crash in. At the floor, MN3 taken down. Sparkle finds 2, gets Fixa, gets MN3, gets Aim God, and Sparkle cleans up 4 kills in the fight. Now just 27% off his next blade.
Yeah. That's the Sparkle we know and love. That's the role start we're talking about here. Fighting Mad Valley on that Genji with the big flank, using Fearless as bait there to slam on in. Everyone's focused on the ball. Sparkle comes in, unbeknownst to the Philadelphia Fusion. MN3 will now go over to the tried and true, his signature Automaker. Can he get anything done here? Sightlines are limited until Fusion can make space for him. So, for now, Fuel coming up to closer ultimates, have a lot to play through. Fearless can also make MN3's life really difficult as well.
Oh, they get the sleep across, they're looking for the headshot. They think him low enough to be able to get the elimination. Zest, however, did fall. Chio with the shield bash. Takes down the enemy. Genji now gets fixed with a whip shot. And it's going to be a bloody brawl back and forth. The Dallas Fuel still have priority. They have the closer spawns. The cart still rolling back, and Fusion now dipping below 2 minutes.
And they won that without ultimates as well. So, you know, just off the back of neutral frags, they get to hold on to 4. Some decent pickups by Chio towards the end there as well. And like you mentioned, time being a bit of a factor. Fusion have majorly slowed down, at risk of maybe not finishing the map. A very big fight about to come on up with Flux and maybe even the Blade coming online. But with Dallas having so many defensive ultimates plus respawn advantage, I mean, they're in a good position to hold.
Certainly are. Bob going to be sent down first. The Flux coming through, picking up a couple members on the side of the Dallas Fuel, but Fielder still holds onto the Transcendence, knows that they are not under any severe threat.
Straight to the Bob.
Bob cleaned up for now. Fusion still trying to poke and prod their way back over towards the cart. Fearless going to be slept as he goes into the minefield. Still zones them back away from the cart, though. Good placement of these mines. Finds more space for the side of the Fuel.
And just kind of waiting out certain ultimates here. Fusion don't want to pull the trigger until they can get rid of the mines. Still waiting for MN3 to maybe get a pick there as well. Got a couple of close shots. Saw the Sparkle and then he got hit. Here comes the blade now.
Yep, the deflection. Use first, dashes in the back. Transcendence comes in from Aim God. Sparkle rotating around the back, and okay, he dies. He doesn't have his jump to try to make it back up the opposite side of the platform, and now Fielder's going to be taken out as well as Guriel. 3 kills, but Sparkle sacrificing himself. Looks like finally the Fusion will be able to get things going, but just 35 seconds remaining. The Dallas Fuel should be able to recontest. They're going to try to get this cap. Yeah, actually, Sparkle, he dashes in. The Transcendence is there. 146 meters left to go as this is going to be expiring rather soon. He pulls back away. Search comes through. Guriel playing forward, but slicing and dicing is Zest. He's looking for another target. He's going to be able to get the Reaper. Fearless has come back through, but it would take an absolute miracle, one of which that is not going to arrive for them. They finally will be able to clear it up, and crucially, Fusion do finish this map with time in the bank, but it was a great hold from the side of the Dallas Fuel. I mean, reminder, 5 minutes at the start of this final stretch to try to finish King's Row. They take it all the way down to 13 seconds.
A really strange situation coming through from Sparkle there as well. You know, it doesn't really make too much sense for me to haven't reset that. I really did think that he had the dash. I didn't actually check the HUD to see if he had it or not. I just assumed that he did. You know, jump down there. We've seen that play from Echoes, and you know, perhaps Genji can do it too. Dash on up the other side, wall climb, you're okay. But yeah, it seems pretty anticlimactic. Pulls the blade, can't get too much done. To be fair, the Transcendence was there, and the Fusion ride the wave of snowballing those frags. They didn't really lose anybody. They had plenty of members up. Nanoblade coming online for the final fight, or the final contest, I should say, from the Dallas Field, where Fielder has to burn a Transcendence just to touch Sparkle on a Tracer, just to get that initial touch there as well. And, well, Philly, like you said, cleaning up with just 13 seconds remaining in a situation where it was looking dire, their ability to cap, and that's considering, like you also mentioned, the amount of time they walked through onto C with. You have to give credit to Dallas Field to be able to hold that long. Just unfortunate it didn't end up being the completed hold on C because it was so close. But for Fusion, probably, you know, you'd have to imagine after capping B, they should be able to finish the map. And, well, they do, but the time is very low.
5, 4, 3.
Oh, here we go now. Fuel on the attack. See how this looks for them. Zest playing on the Hanzo, sent out the recon arrow. Just looking to scout and see what they're going to be prepping in the spawn room. Slide up. Oh, really aggressive high ground contest here. 3 low. Dodges out in the accretion though, and Sparkle, he's getting deep. Finds him in 3, finds Zest. The DPS are gone. Fixes out of the fight as well, and Aim God is the last one standing. Just trying to stay safe up there in the high ground, but that is such a quick gap. The first volley takes it. Dallas Fuel have a massive time bank to work with.
Yeah, blinking, you'll miss it, right? Sparkle coming through with some more heroics on the Genji. Look, he might have just kind of fallen off the map on that C defense, but straight away on A, he just gets the job done. Zesh now moving over towards that's Echo, and for MN3 as well onto the Sojin. So a little bit more survivability maybe against that Genji, but didn't get a lot done on the Ashe straight off the rip when Sparkle's in your face. Dallas Fuel now, oh my goodness, Aim God has been pretty good with these so far.
Another good pick from him. Chio out of the fight early. And because it was such a clean fight, I mean, Chio, you know, he doesn't really have to do too much healing, so he doesn't build up towards that sound barrier very quickly. Now getting picked, he's going to be further delaying it, so sitting at 35%. As the deflect goes out, Sparkle just trying to stay safe. Rotates back around, doesn't want to take the fight against Zest, but Gurio does. Gets the rail, and that's going to be the Echo out of the sky.
Well, that's what we want to see out of Gurio right now. He's pulling some real weight to be able to get those first bloods. It means that they won't have to use that window just yet. I was going to mention that Field is quite close to that Ant Matrix. That would have been their entry point to get a fight underway. But with the opening frag, just one kill makes a huge difference. They'll push through a couple of different corners now. And this is where Fielder can set up for his actual window. And they might be able to window just for the final cap as well, which is really strong.
Car being held on the corner. The dive comes through from Fearless. Primal nearly up. Zest taking down Gurio once more with a rail. Does take him out of the skies. Just not finding much value right here on this defense. Fury contained into the corner, falling lower and lower. Fielder will eventually be able to take him down, and it looks like the Dallas Fuel will not be denied, will not be slowed up very much here on this attack. Cheer just diving in on top of Fixa, finds that final blow.
Check the time.
About to be, you know, 5.5 minutes of the time bank for the Fuel. 5:42 for the final stretch, and this is going to be an incredible defense for the Fusion if they can train this down, but it doesn't seem likely.
Well, Fusion have the ultimate, so we are expecting a reset to come on through pretty quickly here. Felix already burned the Primal. This is going to need to be the beat coming through from Chio if Sparkle can get this blade up as well, but most of these ultimates can be countered. The fact that there is going to be an Aim God Transcendence, we're expecting the Fury Flux to come on in. First it's going to be the window. Chio doesn't have the beat just yet. He can't counter this.
Yeah, he does not have it. Fearless gets dropped. Chio now just going to be taken down. I think the Fuel more than happy to just go ahead and concede the rest of this fight. Just want to try and deny as much ult charge as they possibly can and back away if possible. Seems like the 2 DPS will manage to make their way out of there, as Fearless is now going to be swapping back over onto the Wrecking Ball once more.
He's actually in a position to go Ryan if he wants to, because they're already playing Lucio Bat right. And I actually think, you know, the Ryan is a reasonable option on C, but he'll move over towards the ball. Seems that they really just want to be playing towards more of a dive style. That really does kind of help Sparkle a bit more, so I can see that being a capability and possibility for the Dallas Field. Snipe on the Fielder, though. That'll be a reset.
Quick pick, MN3. Picking things off, and I mean, this is exactly what you need if you're going to try to, you know, drain this time bank down. It's already going to be just over a minute gone. Every single pick that you're going to be able to find is effectively going to be, you know, 15 seconds, 20 seconds bought, depending on who it is and how long it takes them to rotate back. So you can find 4 of that, you can really start to whittle away at it.
Oh, here we go to the blade.
Oh, there's the blade, but there's the flux out on the 2. Beat comes through from Chio, helps keep him alive. Sparkle gets on top of Fixa, finds the first elimination of the fight. The cart once more going to be advancing forward to the side of the fuel. Now the overclock going to be popped by Gurio. Both down to about half HP as Zest goes for the dupe. Has to slide away, continues to get taken lower and lower, and the pile drive will go ahead and knock him out of the duplicate. And the overclock will finish him off. Massive space broken open here for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Once more advancing forward as Fielder. Going to be respawning now, looking to rejoin quickly as he possibly can. Overclock, 3 minutes, 42 seconds remaining. They get within 4 meters now. The overclock there, M3 absolutely flattened. Fearless gets on top of him, knocks him out of the park. Will get taken down, does get traded with the help of that Discord orb out from Aim God though. Enough main tank. That does slow them up and deny their, rather reduce their ability to play forward onto the card. So Dallas Fuel might have to go for a little micro reset here.
Yeah, they just don't have the firepower anymore. Gurio goes down to Aim God as well. And again, credit to Gurio to kind of give Dallas Fuel a brilliant chance that he landed the initial rail onto MN3 as he comes out of spawn, that then enables Fearless to get the slam down so that they can get the kill on him and deny the overclock. But when we pull back even further, let's rewind slightly more. Fusion, in the previous fight, Ingod didn't pop the transfer, Sparkle popped the blade, so they lose Fixture immediately and put themselves at a disadvantage. I don't know how MN3 dies as well. Seems like he's suicided, he fell off the map. But unfortunate scenes for the Philly Fusion. It comes down to the fact that they had to pull the whole squad together, use that respawn advantage, Fuel slowed down the frags, and then Fusion started to stabilize. Still 2 minutes 40 remaining here. Dallas Fuel waiting for mines.
Just a couple % more to go. Fearless gonna have that. I mean, even if he goes in with a pile driver, that'll be enough to get the ult ready. Now has it, starts moving forward. The minefield gonna be dropped in, pops that adaptive shield as well. Try to keep himself protected. Fury is getting absolutely swarmed right now. The Discord orb is out onto him, and he needs to try to stay alive. He's got the Flux online. 2 kills come out. Waste Nano as he gets Sparkle, and Shio is gone. Flux dropping him down. They find Fielder. Zest is there for the alley-oop. Catches him as he hits the floor. 2 quick kills, and now just 2 minutes remaining as the card is going to start rolling back.
My God, thin margins there for Fury's life there. Fixer holds on to the nano boost. I'm thinking, is Fury gonna die here? If Fury dies and the nano isn't used, that's gonna come down to Fixer. That's Fusion potentially losing that gap as well. So, big props to, I guess, you know, the confidence to say, all right, well, maybe we don't need the nano here. Just pop the healing and Fury ends up living. And off the back of a Flux as well, they'll be able to defend.
Oh, yeah, they rolled the dice, and it came up great for them. Chio again picked off.
Fearless Sigma, by the way.
As I said, these initial pickoffs, every single kill that they find is so much time taken out of the time bank. Dallas Fuel down below 1.5 minutes. They have so many ults to work with though. But so did the Fusion.
Man.
Nearly about to have 4 online. Zest finally going to be eliminated, but not before he does get Sparkle. Fielder antied out. A sliver of HP remaining on that Zenyatta.
It's early nano. I don't know about this one.
They'll persevere for a little bit longer.
This is very aggressive from Fusion. They don't need to do this right now. They need to wait for Field to come into them, play the nano defensively.
Oh!
Although I guess MN3 can just keep doing that. So every single time the Dallas Fuel want to start pushing on in, like you sort of mentioned previously, somebody, namely MN3 most of the times, is going to get that first blood. And now we're under 1 minute. We started with 540, and it happens again, MN3.
Yeah, Fearless and Sparkle taken down. Fielder's been walking a tightrope with his HP bar the last 3 minutes. Somehow has not died. Finally will fall as Zest moves forward, throws the pulse bomb. Won't get the kill, but it doesn't matter. They still find the supports. They continue to bleed them dry. 37 seconds remaining as MN3's on an off angle, holding on to this overclock.
And if this is a cap, that's going to be an OT cap as well. Dallas will have a plentiful bank of ultimates to play through. And Fearless has, you know, played enough on towards the Sigma now that he actually has 68% coming online. Gurio will finally find him in 3. This is the 5v4 Dallas Fuel been waiting for.
Okay, the pre-rally coming through. Chio gonna get that green HP out onto as many people as he possibly can. Crucially though, Fielder not really receiving any of it. Flux comes in from Fury, drops into the floor. They don't get the Transcendence out. They just take Fearless down to about half HP. Overclock expiring. Nade going through. He catches him MN3 on the flank. Answering nade comes through. Gurio's got to reposition. Sparkle, however, in the blade. Goes over towards the spawn. Finds Fixa. Zest gets dropped. Transcendence rolling from both of the Zenyatas, duking it out there on the cart. As Fury will be taken out. MN3 rejoins. Gets 1 headshot of the Gurio, but Sparkle is cleaning him up. Gets MN3, gets Aim God, and they will get the finish. And it's going to be a 13-second difference as we go into extra innings.
Yeah, I mean, 5 minutes ago, it seemed like what we had was a Dallas Field time bank in the making that was just going to flatten the Philadelphia Fusion, but both teams stalwart defenses on C point. I mean, just aren't letting anything go. It only slips through in the final moments there. And like I sort of mentioned, if it's going to be a cap, ends up being an OT cap there, a shutdown on MN3. Question marks towards Aim God there with the late transcendence twice in a row. He doesn't say Fixer. Second time that's actually happened there when Sparkle blades. First target ends up being Fixer. Trance comes in after Fixer dies. And then, well, Fusion lacking one healer. Sparkle still on a killing spree. Coming up with some major frags towards the end there, including the shutdown into MN3. But for me, it does start with Gurio turning the tide around with the initial pickoff onto MN3. We had about, what, 4 or 5 first bloods from either MN3 or Zest, or maybe even Aim God from Philadelphia's C defense. Fuel couldn't push on through. Consistently down 4v5, right? But the one time Gurio gets MN3 down, that's the go time for Dallas Fuel.
Oh. I mean, just great. Not quite spy checking, obviously not a Sombra, but pretty damn close. Catching him on that flank. Opening things up for them to finally, you know, just breathe a little more easily as they went back in for that push. But now we go into the extra innings. A minute on the clock for the Dallas Fuel. See how they fare. It was a very fast attack on point A last time around. Can they make it happen again? They absolutely need to.
Well, it's off the back of Sparkle, right? So it comes down to can Fixer and God stay alive. This time we are going to have the back on the defense also. Oh, it's just not going to happen. Sparkle gets the field.
Immortality Field is there, but Fixit and Fury managing to find 2 eliminations. It's going to even the playing field a little bit, but Fuel obviously going to have those faster run backs. Fearless as well, picking down Fixit on the back end. Already the Fuel are posturing forward on the point. Zest, desperate need of some TLC, receives that Orb of Harmony from Aim God.
Should be a contest.
They're going to have to try to fight for this one, but Fury is still so low. They need to get some healing onto him right now.
Zest in a 1v1 as well. He needs to be able to touch. Somebody's got to make this happen.
And
the Fusion are right here. No, they're not going to go for it at the end of the day. All 5 members are not that far, but they are considering a situation where, okay, they'll give that up, but they'll just play the close defense. But this fight, they need to win. Desperately, Fusion need to win now.
Sparkle once more trying to get into the back lines, break things open for his team as he has done time and time again so far on this map. Seems like right now they are none the wiser as to his position, but here's the rotate around the side. The deflect comes out and very quickly. Zest falls down about half HP. The Mortality Field going to be forced as well. They clear it out. Zest left out to dry. No healing going his way. He was locked into the alleyway. Ends up dying, and Sparkle gets on top of Fury as well. Once more, the deflect going through. Fixa nowhere to go. Sparkle cleans him up. Can he get an ace? He's certainly looking for it, but Chio says no. Gets his hands dirty as well. Finds the kill onto Aim God, but the Dallas Fuel have broken open the second phase of King's Row, and they're making an immense amount of distance here on this push is incredible.
Okay, there should be one more contest because Fury is going to come in with that flux, but they're waiting for a couple more members because there are late staggers and it's in OT as well. The respawn's going to take a very long time, so Dallas Fuel at minimum are going to get maximum distance on B, but if they cap, they probably win this map.
Oh yeah, I mean,
contest? There it
very
is.
few and far between where you see these kind of pushes coming through in overtime, and Gurio gets right on top of Fixa midair. Snipes him in the head. The Flux not gonna find a damn thing. Fury taken out. There is the cap. Like you said, that might just be it. That might be Dallas Fuel effectively tying up this map. We still have to see the Fusion go on their own push, but yeah, it feels like it's already over.
Well, it's very difficult to reach this amount of distance in 1 minute, like 1 minute 13. You know, the extra 13 seconds basically is just one reset. It's one player dying and respawning here, but Dallas Fuel, they actually still have ultimates online, so they can push further.
Fury, chunk at the half, moves up to the high ground. The contest coming through. The blade going to be pulled. He's going to be broken out of the mech very quickly. Baby Diva dealt with it as well. He's Fearless into the backlines with the primal rolling. Gets on top of MN3. There's the clear for Aim God, and it is just absolutely immaculate from the side of the Dallas Fuel. They clean them up. Fixa in desperation, swapping over to Lucio to try to go for the touch. He will be able to dive in, but he's just as quickly dealt with. And there you go. 6-point cap on King's Row with a minute to begin with. The Dallas Fuel have certainly set the stage for the Fusion. They say, hey, if you can match it, best of luck.
Yeah, that is
so very unlikely.
It's a perfect snowball. It is a perfect snowball all the way from the first initial push into A down right to the final push that we had on the end there as well. And Dallas Fuel, the fact that they didn't even really need ultimates to cap B, it's just a snowball effect. This is where we, again, rewind back to the moment. after A was capped, the decision was made from the Fusion. We are not going to contest this point. Fury was close, but like you said, was missing a bit of health. Zest was in position to maybe go for the touch, but he was in a 1v1 with Sparkle as well. Probably would have ended up going down there had he gone in. And the risk-reward decision-making for Fusion is, okay, Zest can go in. But if he just dies and we're going 4v5, we're probably going to get wiped. If that happens, we're going to get super snowballed. So the decision is, don't touch, but we will fight for the archway. If you fight for the archway, that subsequent fight is a must-win. As I described, Fusion desperately needed to win that fight because that was the choice that they had made. No touch means you win archway, means that's a defendable point. You fail that, now you're being giga snowballed, and that's exactly what happened. They were never in a position again to have greater ultimates than Dallas Fuel, could barely even contest for B, and then don't even talk about C. I mean, they just had nothing to work with.
We're in this together.
Yeah, we don't talk about the C incident. Well, moving forward, M3 looking for the pop shot with the Widowmaker as per usual. Doesn't spot anything. Zest putting quite a bit of damage there on a Fearless, but it's not enough to get the elimination. There's the rail out, chest shot, M3 down to a sliver of HP, and Sparkle manages to chase deep enough to get the kill in the end. Already, only half the time bank going to be taken away from them.
That's 13 seconds.
Kills there.
That's the only 13 seconds they have. That was the only advantage they had coming in. They cannot lose another fight. Now, Fusion, if they have any shot at capping all 3 points, which is exceptionally low, by the way, it would take a miracle. This has to be flawless now.
It absolutely does. Sparkle pulling back. Stays safe. Knows that how instrumental he has been on this map, and
watch the nano field
to perform. It's nearly there, as you say. 19% left to go. Sparkle stop up there for just a moment to get on top of Fury, though. Finding the tank. Fielder going to be traded out. That is going to be the nano taken out of the equation. Now Sparkle's gone down as well. Chio slept just on the opposite side of the statue, and so far he has not been dealt with, but they finally will spot him. Kicked into the wall, and there you go. The cap will be there for the Son of the Fusion, so at least get an opportunity to make this deep OT push.
Yeah, insane damage output from Aim God. They really pulled this weight. And for the Dallas Fuel as well, losing the key member there, they needed the nano boost. That would have sealed the deal. Nano onto either Sparkle or Fearless, and that would have given them potential fight win. Chio being slipped as well right up the field. That dies. Zero supports alive. Sparkle's in deep, but he can't get healed at all. And Dallas Field, they know how important this fight now is. Fusion lost this fight and then end up losing all the rest of the caps. Dallas know they have to win this fight.
Ults coming up for both sides. The duplicate nearly there. Guriel making his exit as the sticky bombs come flying through from Zest. So far, starting to breach their way through the archway, dive into the back from Fearless. The nano's going to be used. Fearless empowering their tank. MN3, the first one to be taken out of the equation here. Transcendence rolling from Aim God, trying to keep everybody else in this fight. Fielder will get traded out. Overclock now going to be popped from Guriel as he looks for a target. But Fury and Zest, they both get on top of him. The dupe to keep himself alive. He was down to a sliver of HP. They times it out perfectly. The cleanup going to be there as Chio does fall. Still holds on to the beat. They still will have an opportunity to try to recontest this card.
Seth, look at the economy though. This is really unfortunate. The Fusion, they wanted to hold on to ultimates. Yes, they win the fight, but it's a marathon race here. You still have 2 to 3 more subsequent fights to go. Dallas Fuel held on to ultimates. They were happy to cop that loss as long as they made the Fusion spend, and the Fusion had to empty their piggy bank just for that fight. Now the Dallas Fuel can come in with everything.
Need the win out. Try to force some errors on the side of the Fuel. See how their focus firing looks as they're going to go aggressive. The beat comes through. MN3 taking down the blade, gets pulled. Aim God eliminated. Both DPS going to be anti down to the side of the Dallas Fuel, but they do not give a damn. They are more than comfortable right now. They have cleared out the Fusion. Fury unable to get there, but even if he could have kept it contested for a little bit longer, he would have simply died. Dallas Fuel on their map pick of Kings Row do get the win. They tie it up 1-1.
Really clutch at the end there. You have to give credit to Dallas Field. That entire push through in the time bank is unbelievable. Just a single minute, and they finish the whole damn map. And then you look at the defense there as well. Okay, they did lose A. They did lose a subsequent fight as well, but the economical trade is the important thing to note here. Dallas Field forced every ultimate out of the Fusion while keeping their own, and that is what's going to give them the edge to come back and defend. Had the Dallas Field lost the next subsequent fight with 3 extra ultimates, then you would say the Fusion have a very strong opportunity to cap there, but as was mentioned, if Dallas Fuel had even capped B, that probably is the win condition, Seth, and we didn't even need to go to C because Fusion in their time back could not get to B.
Well, all tied up at 1-1. We have already had 2 map 5s here today. Can it happen once more here in the 3rd series of the evening? I'm certainly hoping so, because right now these teams are firing on all cylinders. Dallas Fuel, though, getting that win. Fusion now going to have their map pick as we get ready to move into Escort. We'll see where they decide to take us for that map when we return from the break. So don't go anywhere, guys. There's still so much action to dive into. And welcome back, guys. Dallas Fuel able to go ahead and tie things up at 1-1 with a map win on their pick of Kings Row. And a hell of a lot of it had to do with this man right here on your screen. Sparkle looking rough on that first map of Oasis, but he clapped back in a big way.
Disgusting stuff, made 23 final blows. He opened up A point twice in a row as well, and just generally had fantastic Genji, outplays everything that you want out of Sparkle. Like I said, towards that C point defense as well. This is the role star player that we need. This is the role star player that Dallas needs to be able to come in, diff guys like Zest if possible. We got young blood on the Philadelphia Fusion who are really showing up on the Genji, but Sparkle, he is the OG Genji. So that is going to give the Dallas Fuel a lot of momentum through. For those that are curious as well, Sparkle, like we saw on the stat card there, 23 final blows. The next best on his team was Fearless on 12, then Gurio on 11. So he was significantly pulling weight on the Dallas Fuel. Let's talk a little bit, Seth, about the next map coming on through as you're starting to see the substitutions. Bellisria in, Hanbin in as well. You'll be surprised because you think it's going to be Circuit Royale, but Fusion have actually opted for Route 66, which to me feels like it should have been Circuit Royale, given the fact that that has been the map that have popped off the most on with M3 Widowmaker. You can still play the Widowmaker here, but much better on Circuit Royale, and also given the fact that Feel looked exceptionally weak to the Dragons on Circuit Royale in their previous meetings. So that to me would have been the perfect map to go to, but Fusion, they have other ideas.
I mean, even I think at that point, Dorado could have been a good selection to have as well, because it also still does lend to that long-range sniping play style that MN3 in particular has absolutely excelled in. But it seems like they have something up their sleeve. They have different thoughts, so we'll see what they do have prepared for us on Route 66. Obviously, snipers can very much still come into play on this map, but just not quite to that same degree as we have been seeing on the other two Escort maps.
I could see a situation where you're like, maybe let's not take it to a very good Winston map. I think Dorado's a good Winston map. Gibraltar in particular is an excellent Winston map, but that's also a good sniping map, and you want to give MN3 those opportunities. Circuit Royale, again, is the other reason it's ideal is, okay, you are going up against the Hanbin Sigma, but you have Fury on the Sigma, who is also a fantastic player on that role, so I don't think they should be scared to face the Hanbin Sigma at all. Jin's got something cooking up behind the scenes for sure in terms of why they would want to go to Route instead of that map, and personally I'm dying to see it because I need to be convinced. I need to be convinced that this is the right choice for the Philadelphia Fusion.
Well, time will tell. See what they do have pieced together. Which side, with the swaps made, will be able to find victory, because winner of this one is going to be moving up to match point, and they are then one map away from moving forward, staying alive in this tournament, and eliminating their opponents. So everything to play for. And with each map that we go into, the deeper that the series goes, the more pressure is going to be applied to these players.
One extra thing I'll add here in terms of matchup differential is the fact that Fuel, because they're not running Fearless, they're not going to end up being able to play the ball here. Route 66, very popular on the both A, offense and defense, is going to be that wrecking ball. I'd say B is all pretty damn good for it. C, I think the Sigma is going to come in a lot heavier for Zarya, for Hanbin, and the Zarya as well, like I was about to say, is a pretty reasonable pick there. So I think there are some key heroes that Hanbin can play across this map, but Fusion and most of the other teams would rather play ball.
Well, just 15 seconds, and then we'll get to seeing what these guys do have ready to go. So we open up the gates. But Fusion, rough position, losing out on that last map. I mean, Fuel making just such a miracle run to be able to push all the way to the end once more, that King's Row. They need to make sure that they're keeping their mental clear, staying focused on the game. It can be difficult when you do have these rookies playing in a high-pressure situation. Made it to a grand final in their first ever tournament. Now they find themselves trying to stay alive, fighting for their tournament lives in their first international event. As you can see, the please pause coming through from the players. So we'll just get another little moment to go ahead and chat about whatever the hell we want.
I mean, let's just even kind of go over. We'll stick to the game for now until I get a little bit bored of it. But Dallas Fuel, let's talk about their opening comp because they're on the defensive side and they're actually going to roll out with this. Gurio, Ash, Sparkle, Tracer, Hanbin, Sigma, Fielder, Zen, Chio, Break. So it's going to be kind of like you do see this sort of composition on the circuit. You know, London had been playing something similar to this as well, where instead of the Tracer, you'd play the Genji, right? And then that Ashe position could either be a Widowmaker or a Sojourn. Here, it's going to end up being the Ashe, and that's actually a very, I think, APAC style of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if MN3 also does play the Ashe, but Sojourn across all 3 points here is also pretty damn strong. MN3's Ashe, though, as we'd seen in that victory versus Seoul, that's something to behold. So that's something that they really, really need.
Yes.
And if Fusion can win this map, or actually even if Fuel win this map, the next map type is going to be push. Fusion have the capability to go to New Queen Street. We can maybe relive some of the moments of MN3 Ashe on New Queen Street versus Seoul Dynasty if Fusion want to take us there. So I think there's a fair chance that this can go to 5, given that New Queen Street is next and Fusion are probably favored there. Have Fusion win this one, Dallas takes us to maybe a Colosseo instead. Maybe they win that one, we go to a map 5. So I think the capability from map 5 is definitely on the cards now.
Yeah, it seems like it's just a product of the day. You know, everybody going to the map 5s. We'll see if that can happen, but thank you very much to the mysterious masked admin who very quickly dealt with the issue so that we can jump right into the game. So as you mentioned, Ashe here for Guriel. See how he fares going up against, you know, potentially MN3s.
Probably going to need to see...
We've never had a Bastion in APAC, have we?
No, I don't, and for good reason. You know, you want to play some good heroes.
Yeah.
Here, so, you know, for the most part, I say good heroes with the asterisks because sometimes you do see the Sombra in APAC, but, you know, it is what it is. So here we go. Tracer going to come through Resist as well. I think that's expected. You want to have some dive capability with Balasria, MN3 on the Sojourn, which I think is a great matchup into the Sigma here. Charge up those rails off of Hanbin's shield and try and get some opening picks that way.
Enemy here.
Spotting them. As right now the Fuel kind of scattering to the wind, playing spread out. Balasria looking for the catch on a Guriel, but it doesn't come far enough into the cave to actually get knocked back there. So not going to be really displacing and harassing the Ashe too much. This time around though, we'll go ahead and get a crash through. Health pack out from Chio. Just looking to go ahead and keep him alive. As Sparkle pops the recall, has to exit back up on top of Big Girls to try to stay alive. And it's going to be Guriel getting the better of MN3 for that first blood.
Flanking.
Oh, yes, he is.
It's got to be careful about this.
Around the backside, the dynamite burning away at them as well. Cleanup's going to be there. Balasria just rolling back over to the diner to try to stay alive.
High risk, high reward for Guriel today. Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, but if he does go down there, that would have been potential advantage for the Philadelphia Fusion as far as respawns are concerned. Ashe, not the fastest hero, right? So you have to be a little bit concerned not to feed, but because the early damage coming on through in a successful flank, 68% towards a Bob very early on. That's the highest charged ultimate. Good to see.
Right back into it. Trying to inch this card forward. Slow and steady here for the side of the Fusion. Fuel looking to put an end to it.
Oh, man.
Hanbin going to
damage.
Find a kill on Aim God, yeah. An immense amount of damage going through. The Zenyatta falls to the floor. Fixa as well, just so far forward, trying to contest, trying to get this kill onto the enemy Sigma, but Hanbin is being sustained by the rest of his squad. They keep him alive as he just hugs back around the wall, and once more the Fusion are going to have to go for a reset, and that's going to be half the time bank drained down already.
Well, they got Sparkle, but he's a Tracer, right? So that's not really necessarily going to end up being an advantage. He'll be able to triple blink back and do all of that. You can see silhouette-wise, Sparkle's already basically here now. Dallas Fuel have all these ultimates to play through. You do have Fusion catching up, but for the most part, Dallas are in control economically. This will be a pretty decently big ultimate fight if Fuel don't pull the trigger early. It doesn't look like it will happen, so Fusion will be racking up towards 5 now.
Dangerously low there. Barely manages to stay alive. The Flux coming through the Pulse Bomb on the drop down, but no, Fielder's going to be taking the kill for himself. Says, sorry, Sparkle, but that one's mine. Snatches it up. So, you know, consolation prize for the Fusion is that the Pulse Bomb's out of the way.
Yep. 2 for
but
1.
They still haven't found much purchase.
Yes, two ultimates for just the Pulse Bomb Zest there. That means that AimGod gets to use his trance for another fight. It didn't end up countering the Flux there at all. It's minimal loss for Fusion. This is actually an acceptable position for Fusion to be in, but this fight needs to be really good now, and it starts brilliantly.
Yep, really big pick off. Rally rolling, just giving that green HP over to everybody on the side of the Fusion, and Fielder goes down, so that's going to be the Transcendence out of the fight now. So nailed up the nade up over the top of the sign there. Just looking to zone them back, and the Fuel have collectively pulled away. Just waiting for Fielder to rejoin.
They should bob
Finally
here.
some distance to be found here with the Fusion, now with 48 seconds remaining.
And the Bob will be the first to contest, give Hanbin some space to work through. Really good boot coming through from Chio.
Made around the back, rally rolling from Chio.
Not on the point.
Flying space, keeping everybody alive. Sparkle gets on top of MN3, plays off the back of that body shot from Gurio. They find the kill. The bomb is not on the card, however. As the minefield comes down, Fielder just looking to clear that one out with the Transcendence rolling. Fixa now going to be picked off. The supports out of the fight as Gurio gets both of them. And now with 20 seconds remaining, Zest is just hiding back inside of the cave, I do believe. Waiting
Overtime
to try to contest this as MN3 is going over for the Sombra. True desperation.
Yep, spy chicken from Gurio as well. A little bit wonky on the bob there, I think. It mostly gets LOS, but ends up working out anyway. Gurio finds the kills on the rifle itself. That was holding on to pulse bomb. No, they can't. Zest got it.
Okay.
There's Sombra, Tracer, and Ball. There's no excuse for not touching, really.
Yep, it just made me question for just a moment. Looked like they weren't going to make it, but they do manage to make it happen in time.
They're the ones that are cursed to the secret.
Very true.
Don't worry about it.
Unless you and I are casting Chengdu, and either way, Bellstreet are going to be taking out MN3 as well, falling. The pulse bomb is good to get Chio out of the fight, but I don't know if that is going to be anywhere near good enough here. Once more, the touch coming through. Aim God going to be picked off. Fixa, I mean, he's just rotating around the back. He's trying to get a kill onto Hanbin, but he can't make it happen. Zest continuing to play a little bit elusively, but as the recall gets burned, he will fall. Bellis re-up, just no chance of survival, and it is a full hold in reply from the Dallas Fuel on the Fusion's map pick.
It's a disastrous situation for the Fusion, and now in a very likely scenario where if Fusion do lose this, and it's looking like they will, you're going to have to start asking the question, what was he cooking? Jin, head coach of the Philadelphia Fusion, had the opportunity to pick the Circuit Royale map, opts to pick Route 66. Still don't know why we are on this map. Can't see what the plus sides for the Fusion are, really. We had one good fight, Aim God in first pick, onto Fielder, cool. That gets them cart distance. Dallas Field come back in, still plenty of ultimates to play through. You'll notice that Dallas Field didn't try and initiate a counter dive and try and like force a fight 4v5 or anything. They say, okay, we'll wait. You still have distance to push through. We'll fight at the end here. We still have ultimates to play in. Fielder comes back in. We have a full fight, play through the Bob and the rest of the ults, and they end up completing that full hull Fusion. Now have to get a fuller hold. And unless Jin's strategy is like, no, we're just gonna, our plan is to full hold, which is a rubbish plan. There's no justification for this map choice. I'm sorry, there isn't one.
Definitely a bit of a head scratcher. Perhaps some no-hill experimentation, no-hill-esque experimentation, I guess I should say, coming through. Just stayed up for 16 hours and said, I got it, Route 66. Yeah, this is the play.
Like a fever dream choice. He must have ticked it on the wrong, you know, he got the sheet. It's like, all right, pick your next map, and he just ticked the wrong one. That's happens, you know, happens.
Yeah, could very well be the case.
MN3's like, I could be playing Widow right now, but you know, I'm not. It is what it is.
No, he's not. He is on the Sojourn, which did not look great on that attack. Let's see how it fares with the defensive sight lines. In theory, should be better. Can't get much worse than what we just saw, to be honest.
Gurio's Ash so far has been impressing. I think this is the kind of turnaround we need to see, right? You know, fair criticism to Gurio's performance yesterday versus Lip wasn't great. It is Lip after all. He will get first fragged here, but still opportunity for Dallas, you know. This is Fusion. Like, if Fusion are going to get a fuller hold, they need to start like that, so.
And that they do. Fielder Chio still quite far forward. They're trying to get on top of these supports, and Fielder will finally go down. Chio shortly thereafter picked off. Nice shot from MN3.
Yep.
Definitely looking a lot more alive so far on the defense, but that's 25% of the way. They just need to do that multiple more times.
Basically got as many frags in that last fight as they did over the entire attack just previously, so you need to start snowballing somehow. You'll notice as well on the flip side when Fusion were attacking, by the time ultimates came up, both teams had a lot of ultimates. Here, Dallas Field have that first pulse bomb. Fusion aren't that far ahead in ultimates, so it's very likely we're in another situation where both teams will have equal ultimates coming in.
Belstria going for the dive at the back, and Zest is there. Great combo play to take down Fielder, just further delaying these support ultimates. They're only at 50-some-odd% here. Aim got well out in the lead towards his own Transcendence, as Zest hunts for a little bit more. Health pack claimed by Sparkle means that he does stay alive and manages to exit with his life intact. Pulses available on either side could be absolutely monstrous for the field to finally break through in this push.
Yeah, harder for Zest, I think, than Sparkle to pull this off. It really depends on what kind of flank control we have. And Zest is not keen to play hyper aggressively or anything, so he just needs to make sure he marks Sparkle so they're kind of looking at each other.
Zest and Sparkle once more. A little bit of a back and forth between the two. Pulse at the ready. Somebody please help Zest. He's been begging for some healing.
Now.
Finally does receive it. He sees the supports over on the side. Sparkle throws the pulse bomb off screen. Doesn't find an elimination. M3 popping the overclock. Gets Fielder in the head. Takes him down. Gurio will manage to answer back, finding a single pickoff, but he's not going to be able to do too much more. He's forced back around the corner. A minute
It's
and
not
20
a big
seconds
cleanup,
now remaining.
It's not a big cleanup because Dallas Fuel don't get staggered here. They actually have better respawns. MN3 on his way back in, but can he make it in time to affect this fight? Dallas Fuel already working their way up, and they actually force ultimates. So it's a situation where Fusion would prefer to ult second there, but because Harman's pushed up, they get the ult first. Flux catches one.
Goes for the Flux, finds one, catches Aim God, gets dropped down, has the Transcendence. Fielder in the meantime taken down moments before he was going to have his own Transcendence available. The Pulse Bomb stick good from Zest. The pile driver takes out Gurio. And once more, the Fusion managing to persevere. 44 seconds now remaining as they look to complete this fuller hold. Zest's going to be taken down, but can rejoin rather quickly.
Well,
just needs to stay safe.
Feels much better for the Fusion now because they actually got the Flux out, and Harman's going towards D.Va. Well, I guess they just want to play this one a little bit quicker. If there is a dive option available for Harman, the first choice ends up being D.Va. His hero pool is not going to include the Bull or the Winston here. They have two defensive ultimates plus the Bob, so they can contest well.
Okay, rally rolling, nade comes through. Gurio falling low. Will manage to stay alive. Looks for a target to try to take the head off of it, but so far they're playing around and away from him. Bob's going to be thrown into the back. Card contested. Overtime. Forced out as a guarantee. The Bob's going to be cleaned up. M-God just dealing with that one as quickly as he possibly can. HP from the rally widely going to be gone. Shio still holding on to just a little bit of his own. As the Pulse Bomb gets slapped down onto the floor, but it's not going to be finding a stick. It's not going to be finding a kill. Sparkle cannot break things open. For now, the card just going to be steadily advancing forward. As all of the Fusion play around the back of Big Girls. Contest is going to be there. Zest jumping forward, has to recall. Spellshare comes rolling in, and Sparkle taking down M3 with a headshot off the back of the rail. Finds that kill. Gurio now going to be gone. Have they actually managed to make it happen? It certainly is looking like it. Imgod going to be picked off. Hanman down to about half HP. The stick is good. Fielder is out of there. Zest finds the kill. Chio is eliminated. The pile driver takes Hanman out of the mech, and oh my god, I cannot believe that they've actually managed to make it happen. You said if the whole strategy is to play for the fuller hold, that is a bad plan, but either way, it works for the Fusion. They manage to make it happen. They get the win. They move up now 2-1 in this series.
Well, sometimes a bad plan can still work when the attacking team just fumble, right? It happens. It's an unfortunate way for Dallas Fuel to lose that map. I think they were in a commanding position, had completed the full hold, had reasonable ultimates coming in for that final fight as well. Did kind of get clapped by MN3 earlier on, but well, Jin dodges a bullet here for sure. Maybe there was something else to be played on B or C. Relying on a fuller hold that's just simply not a strategy. So bailed out by Dallas Fuel, unable to push him through, and blessed by Zest with a fantastic pulse bomb in the final front, the fielder as well, and the rest of Philly Fusion completing that hold. So, you know, props to Fusion for getting that map win.
Yeah, had to very much dig deep for it, but now the Fusion are going to be bringing us into match point territory. One more map, they will stay alive in the tournament and send the Dallas Fuel home. Dallas Fuel going to have their map pick as we get ready to go into push. We'll see if that is going to be good enough for them to move forward, keep us going in this series, and extend us to yet another map 5. It's going to be coming up in just a few minutes, and as I always say, you don't want to miss it. This has been a wild series, so why would you step away now? And we are back, and oh boy, things continue to heat up. The Fusion narrowly scraping by with a victory on their map pick of Route 66. A fuller hold is what it took, but they got it done all the same. Dallas Fuel now moving forward with what would be their last map pick in this series to see if they can extend this into yet another map 5 set. As we get ready to go into push.
I'm going to try and forget that last map happened. Philly tried their hardest not to win and then won anyway. Thanks, Dallas Fuel, as we move on to New Queen Street, where, like I did mention, here was going to be the map drafting strategy for both teams. If Dallas Fuel win, then, you know, Fusion get the map pick, they go to New Queen Street. If Fusion, if the opposite happens, then Dallas Fuel, I thought, could have potentially looked at Colosseo. Turns out they are going to take us to New Queen Street anyway. So this is going to be an interesting choice. I think this is a great map for the Philadelphia Fusion, but for the Dallas Fuel as well, they're a fast team. What I'll say for them is the one good thing about them going to New Queen Street, and I hate that I'm about to say this, but it actually does allow them to play stuff like Lucio Moria a little bit better than playing it on the Colosseo map. So if that's really what they want to do, then I think New Queen Street is actually the right call for them as well.
We'll see if that is going to be the play, but it has to be concerning because obviously, you know, pool is limited when it comes down to the push. Right now, we just have the 2 maps in until we move, you know, further along with the betas and whatnot, and can add those new maps into the Overwatch League. It's kind of a coin flip, you know, which one you want to go for. You just have one or the other. New Queen Street is that map, though, that we saw MN3 utterly dominate with his Ashe on. So this is a terrifying prospect. No matter how comfortable you feel with the comp that you might be able to run, if it is going to be the Lucio Moria that, you know, Fuel have been able to find success on, you still have to have that thought in the back of your brain that MN3 could just do you dirty.
And that kind of happened, right? I mean, you're looking at the final Route 66 defense. MN3 started to really pop off. He was heating up already on towards that Sojourn. We kind of felt that pressure onto Kings Row as well. So I would say we're gearing up for an insane MN3 performance, potentially. I mean, this is the exact map that he really, I feel like, he already had a bit of a breakout this year, but he really broke through, like kicked the damn doors open, just like Kool-Aid Man through the wall on this map versus the Seoul Dynasty. So if that happens here, Dallas Fuel are potentially going to be in trouble. They have to be concerned at least a little bit about MN3, and there needs to be a game plan in hand about how they're going to shut it down. Maybe that's through Sparkle. Maybe it's going to be more Genji gameplay. That is actually potentially a good route to play through, but that does need to happen. They need to shut down MN3.
See if they are up to the task, but Dallas Fuel have absolutely everything to play for right here in this map. They need to get this win to take us into map 5. Otherwise, their tournament run here in Midseason Madness will come to an end, and they will sadly be getting back on a plane and flying home.
And boy, have they gone to a lot of Hawaiis.
Oh yeah.
Atlanta even.
At this point, I think they should probably just have a vacation home.
Yeah.
At this point.
Hastra needs to just like have a second base in Hawaii at this stage.
Just get a condo right on Waikiki Beach.
Yeah, very veteran as far as going to Hawaii. Okay, let's take a look at what we're playing out the gates here. So I did mention this was going to be a reasonably good place for the Lucio Moria to come back through. That is indeed what's going to happen here. I think the good news is Fearless is starting on a ball. It had felt like that Fearless wants to play ball with this composition and multiple points at Oasis. He swapped off the Winston 2-go ball. This time, he just starts on the ball. That's good to see.
A little bit of a square off there at the center of the map. As Fuel are going to be rerouting, taking a long swing back over towards the call it coast side.
Call that one a sphere off because it's 2 balls.
Ah, there you go. It gets squared up, but there you go. Fearless, the first one to fall. MN3 already finding first blood, and oh, what a boob. Fellas, for you, blink and you miss it, but yeah, Chio sent sailing off the side of the map into the icy depths, as they will just get the cleanup rolling through. Sparkle falling low, pops the recall. Pile driver not going to connect, but Zest still playing forward, looking to harass him out. Currently has a 20% lead towards that first pulse bomb.
I don't know what it is. It's like opposite day for Fearless. Whatever hero Fearless spawns on for the neutral, he's always guaranteed to not play that hero and just immediately come back to something else. So he's just doing the opposite. All right, let's trust the Fearless Winston, as we normally do. Dallas Rio, though, with the number of kills that he got around 74%. Zest and Fix are getting kills. This is a done deal fight.
Yep, that one is very much over. Zest coming up with 2. Fearless now going to be just kicked right in the chin there by Aim God. He's able to find Fielder as well on the back end. An effective team wipe coming through as the bot will once more be pushing forward for the side of the Fusion. And yeah, it is a very scary prospect here.
Yeah, well, Fielder's swapped now too, because they've moved from a Lucian Warrior comp to a standard Winston and a dive comp, which means 2 players start on a fresh ult. It's credit to Fearless, he got 61% on a single life, but mines are here now. A bunch of other ults for Philly are here now. Philly are very likely to cap.
Certainly looking for it, just 0.2 meters away from having that checkpoint in the forward spawns. Jumping into the back, there's the minefield, drop down, hits the Tracer up into the air. Sparkle does manage to back out of that position, stay safe, but Nano's out. As MN3 looks for another target, gets Fearless, and Fielder, he's going to tuck inside to try to stay safe. Dynamite goes through, does connect onto them, and cleanup comes in. Checkpoint already done with. The bot, his break is over. They continue to push, and they stretch this lead.
That's MN3 for you, man. I mean, you picked this map versus Fusion, you're asking for that smoke. This is what's going to happen. Bob's available. Protect MN3, and that's how Philly can win. More ultimates still coming online for both teams now. Primal been used.
That it has into the back line. Sparkle as well going to be investing the pulse bomb. Doesn't manage to find an elimination, but Fearless does get Zest kind of pinned to the stairs there. Comes up with a kill. Won't force the Fusion back as they look for a little bit of a reset. They have an immense amount of space to work with. 73 meters off the first push basically is absolutely insane. And now Sparkle's dead. M3 gets another headshot. Overclock going to be used by Gurio. He's down to half HP. The Discord Orb is out onto him. And he will finally manage to find a kill, but he's off the side of the map. Pelosria once more comes crashing across, finds a kill. Fearless antied out. Aim God gets the finishing blow. And nice save. Drives right back onto the edge. Absolutely beautiful tech from him as Chio, he's got nowhere to go. Ends up getting dropped. Sparkle forced to recall, and he's just heading for the hills.
This guy's the boot master, you know, you can't boot him off. He designed it, he knows the ins and outs of how to play that situation. 3 ultimates, no 4 online for Fusion. Still waiting for that Bob, by the way, that could be pretty deadly here. And again, credit to Fearless for getting a Primal in 1.5 fights. Sparkle will finally go for Genji. Where's that Bob?
Oh, there opposite side of the bus stop, so isn't going to be getting too many primary targets to focus fire, but
is this 100 meters?
Zone them back indoors. Yeah,
it is.
Really looking
100
like
meters.
94.
110
pushing forward, and there's nothing that they can do. I mean, this could be a finisher on the map. They might be able to just push to the end, because right now the Dallas Fuel, they have no ground to stand on.
It almost doesn't even need to be a finish. 110 to 0, literally 0.00 by the way. 6 minutes left to go. Dallas Fuel, they need to win everything from here. This is going to be so difficult.
Okay, Gurio does get the rail shot into the head, but Sparkle taken down Fearless. Very low on HP, and with Fielder, the only one alive, they just cannot get him, so the bot is going to be shipped right back in front of the Dallas Spawn once more, and these daggers are so brutal. Chio, he's the only one alive. He does have the sound barrier, but isn't going to be good enough for them to play through to finally gain some control. The bot continues to advance. Contest, nearly there, pulse bomb from Zest, not going to connect.
And Fusion kind of back out a little bit because they can. Here comes the beat.
They drop the beat, the shielding there.
Trans.
The bot just kind of getting juggled back and forth. The Transcendence is going to be used by Aim God. Fearless well under the back lines. Has to try to wrap back around to safety. Will manage to make it out. Pile driver connecting from Bellisria. Antied out. Will be finished off. Sparkle able to get in on top of the Wrecking Ball to get the finishing blow. Anti-Nate does go forward. The Fearless is going to be taking a nap, but finally the Fusion can breathe a very brief sigh of relief as they have control of the bot.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this is they're jumping out of the frying pan into the fire here. Still on 0.00. Half the time is now elapsed and expired. And really make no mistake here, this is Everest for Dallas. They need to climb Everest here. Down, if they lose a member, Sparkle going down here. The Nano anyway, they have to try and win this.
Yep, Nano out on to Fearless. Aim God will get picked. Fielder with a nice lob in on that anti-nade. Finds one now with Fixa. Eliminated Gurio. Starting to find some value here. The overclock comes up with 2 kills. Bellisria just looking to slide out, make his exit. Will be allowed to do so, and the Fuel can finally start establishing some real distance. 0.35 meters, not quite going to cut it. Now they're moving forward into double digits.
Well, the snowball is what's required here. You know, Zest is going to be as annoying on the back line as possible. Gurio is actually very far forward. I think Gurio is going to try and make a play here. It's difficult to do that as a Sojin because you can't hold him to rail charge. You can see he's got 0. So it's not like you just pop behind somebody and 100 to 0 them. Not quite the right hero to deal with. He's going to go in now.
Oh, really aggressive position. Finds both of the supports. Slates him in the corner. Yep, massive kills coming through from Guriel, breaking down both of them. MN3 is well traded out, so it is a 2 for 3 in the end in favor of the side of the Fuel. But however, being slowed up, Bellisria making sure that they cannot gain any meterage whatsoever for free.
Yeah, just flying double supports there, you know, unguarded as well. It seems like the Philadelphia Fusion were obviously very much distracted by the fact that Fuel were pushing, so both the supports ended up being alone. Good situation for Guri to find himself, and off the back of the nade as well, we'll be able to get a lot of damage to actually find those kills. So maybe he will find 100 to 0. Gets 2 of them in fact.
There's the crash through. Adaptive shield once more from Bellisria. Just continuing to harass, shoves them back, goes to the pile driver. The beat comes through. Nano now out on the MN3, trying to keep him alive. Sparkle just retreating, still holds on to the Dragon Blade for now. Shots flying and aim gun somehow getting Guriel. Takes him out. In the meantime, the bot is being shipped by Zest. He does this all the time. It's a great bot bamboozle once more here on New Queen Street at the hands of Zest. The bot is going right forward in front of the Dallas Fuel spawn, which they're going to realize pretty soon because everybody's dead. Everybody's going to be
Look at the payload!
Side of the map. And now they have the forward. Yeah, they have the forward position. They win that 4v5. They win that 4v5.
And Philadelphia Fusion now have forward spawns as well. This guy is the most unbelievable payload thief that exists in this entire league. He's done this to every single team and nobody learns. No one can stop Zest. He's a burglar.
Fearless is just melted. Nowhere near the healing required to try to keep him alive. Everybody piles in on the Winston. They find the elimination. Sparkle now in desperation going to be pulling the blade as there's 2 minutes left. Jumps forward. No kills to be found yet. And in fact, he is going to be taken down. Fixa gets him in the rear with the shield bash. The elimination's there. The minefield takes down Fielder. And once more, the bot is pushing forward. The Fusion looking absolutely insurmountable.
They got to pop ults. But once you do that, economically, you got to be behind, right? Fusion, they don't have to finish the map. They can play this defensively, force Dallas to overspin, and then Fusion can just bank up.
Fusion 100% feeling it right now. They pull back. They say, yeah, we've got so much distance. You've got not even 40 meters. And you still have to bring the pod back across the opposite side of the map.
Fusion need to get aggressive and force these ults out.
With Bellisria getting top back up. Should see the re-aggression. There it is. He goes sliding forward. Holds bomb at the ready. Zest looking for a target. Fielder going to take it down mid-cool. Will be a throw it out. 1 for 1 on the supports. Looks for a little bit more, but can't quite take down Shio, who is getting closer and closer to that next sound barrier. Overclock going to expire. Guriel picked off on the back end. The bot once more just being held in place by Zest, making sure that they cannot bring this back into a neutral position. They maintain those forward spawns for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, MN3 goes towards a Sombra there as well, so Fusion are trying to give Dallas Fuel a bit of a chance here. I respect it. Dallas Fuel, can we make something of this? Less than a minute left to go now. Certainly it's going to be really good scouting, setting up for a big dive here as well, so you got 3 potential flankers coming on in. Spotting Fearless, that's going to be the target.
Gets the hack, just looks for some damage. The sound barrier now going to be used from Chio. Drops that. Moves forward, trying to get on top of the Sombra, but MN3 just goes ahead, zips away, and now the sound barrier shielding has expired. Sparkle, Pulse Bomb nearly online, hasn't really been connecting with these too much here today in this series. Needs to absolutely nail somebody with this stick. Wrapping around the back, dashing forward. It goes into the wall. It's not going to find any kills. Chio does manage to get on top of Fixa, but Gurio's already out of the fight. Chio finds both of the supports on the side of the Fusion. Massive opening here. They have the man advantage for the time being, but Zest will get Fielder in the end. For a little bit more. The stick is out. Fearless going to be falling low. They take him down below half HP, but the kill has not been confirmed yet onto the Winston. As I say it, though, MN3 does arrive, does get the kill as we go into overtime. But
you can't get off the payload.
Contested for now by the supports. They're pushing it forward. And a reminder, they have not gotten this checkpoint yet, so the bot will take its break if they can get there. They do
back on it too.
The shove back coming through. The shield bash pushing them away. Sparkle in the corner, nowhere to go. Gets taken down. Contest coming through. Fielder once more, now going to be eliminated. It's all on Chio, and no one can get there in time. Absolutely impeccable. As we said, the Dallas Fuel, they did not have a great choice in push maps, but this was definitely the worst of the two. And Fusion absolutely excel on New Queen Street once more. It might not be the utterly dominant pop-up performance from MN3. This time it's much more of a group effort from the side of the Fusion collectively. But no matter, they get the win. It's 3-1. They stay alive in the tournament. Dallas Fuel, they go home.
It's far too much meterage found there for the Philadelphia Fusion. I think even at the 6-minute remaining mark, it was going to be nigh impossible for the Dallas Fuel. Yeah, this is the nature of playing push. When you're down that many meters, it is so difficult. And in the final fights there, all Fusion need to do is trade members. If they get any kills, it puts Dallas Fuel into the bin because they need the respawns, but the respawns are too far away. It's too slow because you're in the OT. Fearless dies, can't come back. It's got to be instantly a 4v5 or less if you don't have the numbers there. And we talk about Dallas Fuel needing to scale Mount Everest. Unfortunately, they're not going to make it to base camp. That was domination from the Philadelphia Fusion on that final map. Competitive throughout the series. Still got to give credit to, you know, the Dallas Fuel for taking Kings Row. That overtime attack is one for the ages. Spark had a great map, but a single map does not win you this matchup and does not progress you in this tournament.
No, it certainly does not. Well, this is another one of those tough moments of, you know, trying to figure out who is the player of the match. But at the end of it all, especially with the great bamboozle, as he always does on New Queen Street, on push in general, it's going to be Zest who picks it up for his squad, and very much was instrumental in them being able to get this win and stay alive in the Midseason Madness.
Yeah. I think this was the most equal in terms of everybody's output for the Philadelphia Fusion. I think typical games that we've casted, it's like, oh, okay, MN3 obviously popped off here. Zest had a great game here. Maybe Aim God or even Fixer or, you know, Fury, Ballastria have their individual moments. But today's victory for the Fusion was kind of like an overarching victory where everyone pulled weight at various times. Some, you know, everyone kind of contributed to some mistakes here or there, but can't dwell on those for too long because one of the key aspects of this win today, I still have to rewind us back to Route 66 because that was an unbelievably winnable map for the Dallas Fuel. One I think they have to they got to be kicking themselves for, because that's a situation where I feel like Fusion actually misdrafted in terms of what map they took the Dallas Fuel towards. Dallas Fuel set themselves up to a great single situation to be able to win it. And had they won that map, we would actually be going to a map fight. We could maybe even argue that New Queen Street is not the most ideal place to take the Fusion, given that that is, I think, one of their strongest maps next to New Queen Street. So we've got one of the Fusion powerhouse maps in there, and it shows like 20 meters as well. Payload theft committed by Zest. MN3 had some good moments here. Didn't just take over the map, but had some strong moments. And Dallas Fuel, you know, this is what Seoul Dynasty experienced on this exact same map not that long ago.
Yeah, I just, like we said, a much more shared effort. And I think that the secret this time around, Avril, was that not only MN3 had a cheesesteak this time, it was everybody on the team got a cheesesteak. Everybody feasted. They got energized. They got ready. They tapped into that secret power, and they were able to get the win. And, you know, I felt it. I thought it was going to happen, so I decided to join them, and I ordered a couple cheesesteaks for myself.
Nice.
So I'm going to be feasting on this, so I'll just go ahead, let you throw us to a break while I devour this thing.
Yeah, so what this is you're like the you're like the counter Bad Pachamari, right? You bring good luck to the Fusion, I understand now. Well, that's going to be match number 3 done and dusted, folks. We are going to go to a break. When we come back, Atlanta Reign and Seoul Dynasty. But first of all, obviously, we're going to take this to the desk, so Ovally and the rest will meet you on the other side of this.
여기도 없어. 손보라 부조야. 루시오. 밟는 거 치면 끝이야.
메가 밀었어.
루시오 보자.
힐 가능해.
나이스.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Go to takemetomanoa.org today.